Thanks for joining St. George News at 8. I'm Scott Beadle. An Alabama man hiking with family was found dead after the group became disoriented and then separated while hiking Tuesday in the Spooky Gulch area in Kane County. Officials say the body of 62-year-old Lane Friedman was found Wednesday afternoon by a helicopter pilot with the Utah Department of Public Safety. Friedman set out on a hike on Tuesday in the Slot Canyons of Spooky Gulch along with his wife and 2 children. When they got disoriented, he apparently wandered off while the rest of the family rested. His family eventually found their way back to safety later that night. The search began on Wednesday morning. The pilot spotted Friedman several hours later. His body will be taken to the Utah State Medical Examiner's office in Salt Lake City for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. St. George police are asking for the public's help in locating 2 missing and presumed runaway juveniles. Police are searching for 16-year-old Jordan Jet Lanza, who reportedly ran away on June 26th. Authorities believe Lanza is in the St. George area and possibly with another teen, 16-year-old Angie Mercedes Endicott, who was last seen on Tuesday. The boy has a dark complexion, brown eyes, black hair, is 5'9" and about 112 pounds. The girl has a fair complexion, brown eyes, brown hair, is 5'7" and about 135 pounds. Police believe they might be headed to Cedar City. If you have any information or have seen either of them, please contact the St. George Communications Center at 435-627-4300. Police responding to an assault in St. George on Sunday were able to solve a stolen firearm case after a gun dropped to the ground during a fight between 2 men. It happened on the 1400 block of East Four Master Drive. During the fight, 19-year-old Nebiat Tedesse Semino allegedly dropped a Ruger 9mm gun on the grounds. Police later learned that weapon had been reported stolen from a vehicle earlier in the year. When an officer arrested Semino and searched him for additional weapons, a stolen credit card and wallet were found. Police say Semino admitted to being in possession of stolen property. He faces multiple charges, including theft and burglary. Brian Head will officially be open for business again Friday after 11 days of evacuations. The Brian Head Fire now measures more than 83 square miles and has cost an estimated $11 million to fight. Last update, it is about 15% contained, all of that primarily in Brian Head. Starting at 7 a.m. Friday, the town is planning to let people back in. Power in the town is on, but there is no internet or phone access. That's expected to come back on sometime Friday. The town also plans to hold its 4-day 4th of July celebration, but without the fireworks this year. Residents and visitors will have to enter through State Route 14 as State Route 143 does remain closed nearby. An extensive closure remains for Dixie National Forest, and a handful of other towns and roads do remain closed. A full list of closures can be found on stgeorgenews.com. Police are searching for a suspect caught on surveillance video, allegedly starting a brush fire early Friday morning in Moab. The video shows the suspect lighting the brush just after midnight, then riding away on a bicycle through a parking lot, according to a statement issued by the Moab City Police Department. The suspect is described as a slender male with facial hair. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to contact the Moab City Police Department at 435-259-8938. President Trump's limited travel ban goes into effect today, just days after the Supreme Court allowed portions of it to proceed. But the changes are unlikely to be immediately visible at airports in the U.S. or anywhere else. Maggie Rulli has the details.
The first day that the Trump administration's newly revised travel ban takes effect, people are starting to feel the effects. Some travelers left stranded.
The governments that are issuing this kind of rules, they should reconsider that all the people are human.
Others ready to fight.
I promise my inbox is blowing up with lawyers because they are ready to come back out. They want to come back out.
President Trump's executive order in January calling for a travel ban on 6 mostly Muslim countries resulted in chaos at airports. But after months of legal battles, the Supreme Court ruled this week to partially reinstate the ban. Under the new guidelines, if someone from a restricted country wants a visa, they have to prove a bona fide relationship to someone in the U.S. The administration defines that as a parent, spouse, child, son or daughter-in-law, or siblings.
It's just very frustrating to know that the federal government can just redefine the concept of family.
Rama Issa plans to get married this fall, but now worries whether her family in Syria will be allowed to come to her wedding.
I was raised by my grandparents. The idea that I wouldn't be able to have them at my wedding it's heartbreaking.
The administration argues this travel ban will help protect Americans from terrorists by using extreme vetting, calling the ban's reinstatement a significant win for our national security.
Travelers from those restricted countries trying to make it to the U.S. will have to wait a few months at least, as the Supreme Court is expected to hear the case in full this fall. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast right after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by AWI Networks, smarter internet.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Thursday evening to you. More hot, dry weather in the forecast here the next couple of days. Today we reached a high temperature of 102 here in St. George, a couple degrees above that normal of 100. Record high for the date, 114 back in 1994. And last year we had a temperature at 106. Our overnight lows are in the 70s. That's really pretty close to where we should be for this time of year. Taking a look outside then, a viewer photo sent in by Sean Ray, and actually looking very nice at Cedar City Temple. They're looking at the reconstructed temple, I should say, and some pretty nice weather out there. Lots of blue skies, that's for sure. And we want to have your viewer photo sent to us, so like he did, like Sean did, send it to our website, kcsg.com, or you can actually tag us on Facebook or Twitter using the hashtag KCSG_TV, and we'd love to have them on the show here. Any photos you have here from Southern Utah, or even any parts of Utah at all, would be very nice to showcase here on your newscast. Now here's a look at our high temperatures once again. We did make it into the low triple digits here in Southern Utah, from Hurricane at 101 to 102 in St. George, 106 in Vegas, 107 in Mesquite, 93 degrees, a high temperature Cedar City, and also in Enterprise late this afternoon. Now for tonight, back in the upper 40s in Cedar City. That's the place to be, with some cooler temperatures getting there, mainly clear skies. Everyone else though, low 70s. Again, very close to where they should be this time of year, from St. George to Mesquite to Hurricane. And as we head into your Friday then, Cedar City back in the low 90s and the upper 70s by noon. Mostly sunny skies expected. Those northwest winds about 10 miles per hour, and looking for that high reaching 92 in Cedar City. Now St. George getting back in the triple digits once again, 104. Our high temperature for our Friday, the last day of June, but lots of sunshine in the forecast, as winds will be west-southwest about 10 miles per hour. So very warm. Again, a full day of sunshine expected for our Friday as we get into the first weekend of July. Yeah, really more of the same. Hot and dry weather continuing across our region, with those triple digits expected here in Southern Utah. And even next week, looks like more of the same. Not seeing any big break in temperatures anytime soon, as we'll keep those highs in the triple digits even in the middle part of next week. And even for July 4th, looking very hot and dry throughout our area. So here's what it looks like on the surface map. Again, not much going on around our region. Seeing a few thunderstorms develop through parts of central Colorado, but again, nothing here in Southern Utah. Just a hot weather continuing as we get through the next several days. For your Friday, upper 80s to low 90s. Cedar City at 92 degrees, 92 degrees Enterprise. However, Southern Utah then seeing temperatures near 104 in St. George, 108 in Mesquite and Littlefield. And Cedar City does show temperatures again low to mid 90s here in the next 7 days. And no rainfall in the forecast the way it looks. Going to stay dry too, and by July 4th about 95 in Cedar City. St. George and Southern Utah, yeah, we're looking at temperatures once again as we get into the next several days into the 105 to 102 range, especially during the weekend and even Monday and Tuesday, with July 4th being on Tuesday. Looking like temperatures could reach about 104, and looking at temperatures even next week, again staying dry and hot here across our area.
Seems familiar.
Yeah, it does. Really typical temperature, 100 in St. George, so we're really not too far off of normal, actually. So yeah, kind of just more of the same the way it looks.
All right, thanks, Chris. Up next, how some photos of nap time are making waves. Leave it to a dad to find a new way to take a nap. Skylar Nitschke from Louisiana captured her dad doing something a little strange recently, and it's either incredibly inventive, super dangerous, or a little of both. Skylar says her dad bought a snorkel for the sole purpose of taking naps in the pool. She took some photos face down in the pool with the snorkel in his mouth, floating on a pool noodle. Twitter loved it. Some, though, were incredibly concerned for his safety.
I can imagine.
Understandably so.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for watching.
We hope you have a great night.